Want to say, come say good morning.
Are you live?
I am. It just went live.
Good morning.
Morning,
morning,
Chelsea. All the nice people out there. What did we entitle today? With Anne coaching. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. All of the great things that you might be celebrating. Kwanzaa. Yeah, I don't know all of them. Sometimes I do. Sometimes it's a stellar day. Happy holidays. Seasons, blessings on all of you. Let's get talking about what we're going to do today. I was asked if I'm be interested in furthering the discussion last week, last Friday. I wasn't on air, obviously. We had a live event about heavyweight threads, heavyweight heroes. Good morning, Sandy. It's nice to see you. Thanks for letting me know you're there. We've been hosting several different wonderful thread lectures, and they're fabulous. It's we always talk about TNT, thread, needles, tension, and good morning, Ruth. Thread, needles, tension. Well, those are the three things. If you're from my era, TNT on the side of a little black box is explosives. Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. The fun cartoons. So TNT, well, it stands for explosive, and in our world here, that's thread, needles, tension, which can lead people to have an explosive moment in their sewing rooms. So learning more about that expands your horizons for creativity, certainly. Lets you understand what you need to know to get what you want out of your machine. Good morning, Anne. I got dressed up for you today. Let me do that. I don't have a fancy Christmas sweater like Sandy's wardrobe, but I thought I'd wear velvet for you today. And I just got cold. So we have over the years had many courses about thread, needles, and tension, and we certainly cover that in our new owners classes when you purchase your Bernina or Brother from us. But some of you are kind of hanging out there on a limb, and we'll cover a little bit more of that. But if you missed the wonderful lectures and you're interested in taking them, we did record them. We have lives coming up in the new year, I think 2 more. And we did Threaducation 101, which is a basic broad overview. Then we did Lightweight Legends, talking about all the really ultra fine threads and where you might use them other than in a bobbin. And then the one last week was called Heavyweight Heroes. And so I'm going to work with and speak to more about heavyweight thread today. And sometimes we try to use those in the needles, not understanding that the needle we're using won't accommodate that thread. A good amount of trauma for sewers is not having the right needle and thread together. And when you do, everything goes along swimmingly. So it pays to know more about thread, needles, and tension, because the common phrase is, my machine hates that. Your machine has no feelings whatsoever about anything. What you're really saying is, it's not working out. I don't know what to do about it. I'm going to blame my machine. And so to me, those are very sad words because they limit you. You're now not going to use the pretty thing that you had got because you were excited about it, the colors, the textures, or whatever. And then now you're saying, oh, my machine hates it. I'm not going to use it. There's very rare instances where certain threads and things aren't happy in certain machines. But if you knew how to manipulate the needle and the tension, your machine would be able to happily sew with it, make beautiful stitches, do whatever you need. So today I'm going to cover quite a bit in the world of heavyweight. So let's take a look down what I have on the table in front of me. So we talk about this. This is a Wonderfill block a month. You can't quite see the little robin, but there's my version. I'm not quite finished. And here's the hand version. So we've been working on these, Bernadette from Wonderfill and myself. And the challenge put out for me was, could I mimic the hand stuff in my machine? Absolutely. So we've launched some of those videos now. They're have been filmed and edited, and you'll find those on the YouTube channel, which is mysewingroom.ca. So if you are inclined to try a wool block a month, you can register with Wonderfill and just get the patterns. They're free. If you want a pre-cut kit, we've made those available, and that's what we're working from here. So all the little pieces come pre-cut, ready to lay down and stitch. So that of course is my favorite way. If somebody does all the heavy lifting for me, then I get to do all the fun stuff. So the underneath one here, they're on display in the store. They're done by hand. The covers of the pattern are very explicit. There's one in the display here. Let me bring it over. I always feel so bad ruining the displays, but so you can buy the entire 12 months pre-cut, and it's beautiful. And all the wool pieces we actually have available in about the size of a fat quarter for purchase. So if you fall in love with this lime green and you need it for other things, you can absolutely get more. Okay, so I've done. Bernadette freely admits that she goes a little off script because in the pattern that you get, the bird is there. You can see the stitches quite clearly. So sometimes if she prefers a different color, she picks a different color. There's a beautiful thread kit. It's on this side. Touching Sandy's nose. Don't tell her. I think she's had an appointment this morning. She'll never know. She won't be watching me live. All right. So this is the 8-weight pearl cotton, which FYI, I'm putting through the needle. Wonderfill recommends that you go only with the 12, but I'm a bit of a rebel, and I fell in love with this thread kit, and I want to use it on the wool thing. Good morning, Helen. The Alana wools here, they fit nicely in the machine, and they machine needle pretty easily. So if you just want tips and tricks on that, you can go and watch the block month videos where I have the tips and tricks that I'm using to actually be able to sew with this. Oops, should not maybe turn that sideways. I'll fudge that back together later. But I've been using those, and prior to my being a bit of a rebel and saying, oh yeah, let's stitch that, we would have said no, don't. But I am, and it's working out fine. Do I have to have a little perseverance? Yes, I do. Do I have to have a little bit of patience? Yes, I do. But I've gone ahead and accepted that challenge, and it's been working out for me. So I'm just going to pull this back a wee bit and put these a little side by side. And so I'm not finished this one. There's a few parts missing. But you can see, like, I've got a feather stitch here, and there's a feather stitch here, and then there's zigzags here, and I've got the zigzag. Mine's a little more tonal, so it might be a little harder to see. Got the cute little feet. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And I've left the tails there because I want to show you something there. I haven't finished the bits in the log. I still have a couple things left to do on mine, but for the most part, I think mine looks a lot like theirs, and it's enough to make me happy. And even if I hand stitched mine wouldn't look the same as Bernadette's. We each would make individual choices as we were working through them. So I'm going to keep that one out. This one I'm going to set to the side. And then we're going to talk about couching. And I'm going to bring in a bit of a workbook here. So I have gone through, and you can see all the threads hanging out there. And I'm going to just put them on a bit of a white background there. Here we go. You can see all the different colors that I've used there. And what this sample did was I showed the stitch that I picked out of my machine in one of the embroidery weight threads. And then I picked some of these heavy earth threads. These are in the world of Wonderfil called Razzle. They had Dazzle and they had Sizzle. And the Sizzle's been discontinued, but there's a different thread that has replaced it. So it's got beautiful color and some sparkle. Let's see if you can see that when I roll it in the camera. Yeah. But the sparkle you'll see is the different thread. But you can see what color this thread was. Then I repeated it using heavyweight thread. So this is a version of couching. Now couching, there's two kinds out there in the world right now. There is couching with your sewing machine, just stitching. These are this is my collection of feet for my brother. Let me maybe switch to close up. I'm gonna just, you can see that one has holes in it. So you can run thread into those holes and then stitch over. It holds them quite nicely. The other feet, this is a pin tuck foot. Has grooves on the bottom. So lots of times from the top, you're not really sure what's going on with your feet. The business is on the bottom. There's another one that I like to use where a different hole setup on this one. So you can put thread through all of those holes or different holes, different configuration. For me, it would align with what I'm doing. So in the foot, you can put 1, 2, 3, 5 threads. This one has 7 holes. And so heavier weight threads like this will go in there nicely. There is also a movement to free motion couching. I brought just a small, so I have drawers with all my threads in it, and so Razzle, Dazzle, and Sizzle. Razzle was just the plain rayon. Dazzle had a small amount of sparkle in it, and Sizzle had quite a bit more sparkle in it. So, sorry, I like to usually show that with the 3 of the same spool. So these, back in the day, I would never put in my needle, but since, you know what they say, as I get older, I care less about what people think of me. And I'm more likely to take up a good challenge just for fun. So, Bernina has a series of pin tuck feet, and let's see if I can get that under that camera. Well, no, it's not as good. Well, there. Sorry for making you chase the camera. See, there's 3 big fat holes there. They have, like Brother variations, this has a few more slots, 5. So the first one had 3 slots, 5 slots, 7 slots. These are pin tucking feet, but they trap and hold cord, wool, ribbon nicely. But in the world of feet, this one's 9. They're called the pin tucking feet. Then let me see. This is a free motion couching foot. The cord goes in the side here, across the foot and down through that hole. And this one free motions. There's a few others these days. We'll walk through them as well. This little one, I'll show you. Let's do the close-up on this one. So this one, you see, has a little door, and the little grooves are on the top there. And then you lay them over that and then go under the foot, and then you close the little trap door on them. That one's pretty good. And it's referred to as a couching foot. And then there are, of course, there are other feet. This is pardon me. 43 foot. What's a Bernina? 44? No, 46. 43 is the free motion couching foot. My apologies. 46 came out a few years ago, and it's one of the few feet I bought after I became a dealership. But this one has different places to hold cord in different areas. So the thing I like is something that will just trap the cord, hold it in place, and allow me to stitch over it. There's a 23 applique foot. It has a smaller opening in the front. There is another foot. Which one are you? 39. 39 has a little tiny hole in the front, just here, and you can get something small into it, and it will hold it nicely in the middle while you stitch it down. So suffice to say, there's plenty of feet to get the job done. I think I might. I'm not going to do a ton of couching. But the one, I think I'll put the 25 foot out for what we're going to try today. So this is my plethora feet. Do I use all of them all the time? I don't. But I've had, they last forever. So, I mean, it's probably taken me 20 years, and Fast and Furious, I collected a lot of my feet early on. For both brands of machines that I have. I'm always happy that I have them. I've never regretted the time or dollars I've put in, and I keep them all organized. The other thing that is of value for some of this is a floss threader to get the cord into the foot exactly where you want it, or under the foot exactly where you want it, depending on the foot you use. Then I'm just going to work with the kind of the razzle dazzle sizzle ones here, although we're completely sold out of sizzle now. But there's this one, Glamour, which is a substitute, has more sparkle. It's lovely, and it's not as rough as Sizzle was. Sizzle was also scratchy, but this is quite lovely and soft in your hand. So it wouldn't be, if you put it on something you're wearing, it wouldn't be scratchy to your skin. So, I should probably just pick bright colors. Yeah, the accent, that's 12 weight. Goes through the needle pretty good. I'm not sure what needle I have in the machine at the moment, so I'm just going to go with a basic embroidery thread. My house is really dusty, so I like to keep my stuff covered. But if you like to store your stuff out on a rack, that's a great way to go. Let me just have a quick flip in the book. I want to do a close-up for you on some of the other stuff I've got for that I've done in tests. So, just so you could see Razzle, Dazzle, Sizzle, or Glamour. So what I did is just sewed a little tiny zigzag, you can barely see it, and the color thread that I used, and then I couched it over the 3 threads so you could see them in action. So this workbook is here in the store. You're welcome to see it at any time. But it showed you, like, you know, no sparkle, medium sparkle, high sparkle, and then the stitch I used and the color I used. Because the color you use impacts greatly what you've done. And my best example of that, show you here. So on the corner here, you can see I've used a sort of a gold dazzle, and then on there I used an aqua thread, kind of a blue aqua on the top. And just by changing the density of stitch, I have a very interesting pattern happening here. And so this is all just single thread couching with a zigzag, changing direction. All I did was chalk an X inside of the box, and then I did a chalk outline here. So as I stitched along here, I intensified the zigzag, then stopped and went back to the width I was using as I went around in a repetitive manner, and lo and behold, I have this really funky piece of fabric. So what do you do with it? Well, you can include it anywhere you want. I'm just happy I even did the test stitch out. So let's have a little close up here. So you can see the decorative stitch I used here and the thread I used. And then I put 3 cords in and I couched them. And each one of those bars caught the razzle in a different place. And so some of these are super fancy stitches. Some of them are pretty basic stitches. This little star stitch, most machines have that. It accommodated 2 threads nicely, not 3, because it has that center stitch, so it would have really squished out your thread. But this is just the very, very first one here. It's just a multi-step zigzag. Many machines have that too. I could have put 3 threads in, but I just put 2 in and created an entirely different pattern. But the embellishment opportunities with couching are quite nice. So just gonna, don't look, like that song from way back when. Don't look, Ethel. Anyone know what I'm talking about? There's a spool of thread online if you remember what that line from that song is. Dig out a sample thread for you. Okay, so I opened the little door there, and quite often if you have a small little tray in front of you, it would help. So this one's a little easier to thread because there's an opening in the side there, and then I'm going to lay that thread there. Like the other feet that had the holes in it, I would have had to use the flosser. Just gonna pull that through the slot, drop it there. Have to fool around just a little bit if I want them in a different spot than they are. And then I'm gonna use another spool of Dazzle. And there's essentially 5 slots here. I'm going to manipulate those into the middle 3. I'm going to close the trap door on them. Then I'm going to, hopefully the contrast between the orange and the blue will show a little easier. And then I'm just going to use a beige thread on top. So for those of you out there in the universe who own a Bernina 8 series, I'm actually on my original 830 LE here. I always wanted it back. I traded it in. I have it back now, and I'm pretty stoked about having it. Okay, so just going to get those threads tight and tidy in the back of the foot, and then I'm just gonna pull a little bit off of the spools, give myself a little bit of slack there, and then I'm just gonna start let's try the multi-step zigzag. Oh. All right, I have to tell it which foot I've got on. It keeps you from doing something silly. And I'm going to have to tell it the stitch plate I have on. Oops. Fat finger syndrome, there we go. Sorry. I'm changing my mind as we go along here, and I really shouldn't. Okay, so I've got the multi-step zigzag it on the machine, a variation of it. It's actually stitched 4. And I'm not going to do any changes, but couching just simply is the act of stitching something over. And back in the Middle Ages, when they were stitching out beautiful gowns in court, they used gold thread. Now, gold thread was very expensive, and of course only for the rich, and they certainly wouldn't have stitched like over under so that half of it was in the back, they couched it down. So you put your expensive thread, you lay it down, you use a less expensive thread, and you so I just changed my length here because you don't need a really tight stitch to hold anything. And if you need to turn a corner, you turn it carefully. So it's very different looking when it's a very tight zigzag. I quite like it. It actually looks like braid. And then this has a like a looser slub effect. So you pick a spot, pivot, and I'm gonna go back to the original with just a slight adjustment in length. And now in width. So the thing I always like to remind people, there's two kinds of sewers out there, stitchers. Those who test and those who wish they had. So who do you want to be? I'm changing width and length as we go along. Because in the original you could see the points of the zigzag. Just changing that as I go along. And with this, you can certainly change directions. Yeah, I do like that heavier. And that's just a simple zigzag stitch. It's a little hard there, but I mean, so that's couching in a nutshell, really. It's just the act of tacking something down with another stitch. And that could be, it could be thick, fat yarn. It could be just about anything. It could be a piece of ribbon like this. So, you know, I could put, oh, let's do that while we're here, hey? Just let's switch back to this way. And I'll just give you a quick sample. So we could couch down ribbon. You could use a much wider zigzag here. I really like it. So even if you take a basic piece of cloth, I'm going to just try to refocus the camera for you. Yeah. It's not my friend today. So, simple act of tacking something else down. I'm going to run you through some of the possibilities of the feet that might be available to you depending on your machine. Okay. So this one is massive, number 60. It holds much larger cord. 59C. Number 25, that's the one I was just using. Number 43 is the free motion coaching foot. The 72S has little free motion coaching inserts, and what it is the insert will allow you to use thinner and thicker thread in a free motion style. The 43, it allowed for a particular cord to run through it called La Spiga, which we love and adore here, at least I do. This is the foot I was looking for in the Landa Brother. Let me just do a close up here. So that one has the trap door, like the 25 Bernina, but the trap door doesn't swing open here. So that's one of the ones where you'll need to pull it through with a flosser. But really handy. I might have left mine at home on the machine. It might be on my table. You know, trying to teach myself to put things away. 3 guide foot, 5 guide foot, 7 guide foot, all slightly different in how they put things together. But if you have a machine that uses clip-on feet, there's a high likelihood that these will fit on there, whether you're a Brother owner or not. And then, you know, here's a good selection of what I had open today. So these are all things, beautiful twist thread. And we've been rearranging our racks of thread here at the store. There's one of those beautiful variegateds. And a tip when choosing variegated thread, look at the mix of color on the top of the spool here rather than the side. Sometimes you get a really weird, funky pattern down the side of them that has nothing to do with how beautiful the thread is. If you're looking for distribution of color, check the top of the spools if you can get at them. That gives you the truth about what they look like. So we're not hurting for some choices here. This is the Glamour that's replaced Sizzle. But, you know, just know we got you covered in heavyweight threads. So that was sort of just a quick follow-up to our Wonderful Threaducation event. The lovely thing about the event was Bernadette, who's been our guest lecturer, brings, if not photos, actual samples, whether they're sewing, embroidery, quilting. Brings you so you can see them in person and close up. So the other that I have in store is samples like this to help you see it in store while you're standing at the rack, trying to figure out what it is you might want or need before you get home, or what you might want and need to try. Bernina had their free motion feet for couching. We have one for the Move It foot here on the Brother side of the room. And then they also have a free motion version that you might be interested in. SA 199 and SA 200 are the numbers for those. Yeah. I don't see any questions on the display and the lecture that I'm up to today, but certainly if you're interested in watching those videos, they are for purchase, and there's a total of 5 at the end of that, and definitely worth the viewing. So all right, January, the next one is Mastering Metallics, and a lot of people struggle with metallic thread, and you shouldn't. A lot of people, that's one they say, oh, my machine hates it. Remember, your machine has no feelings about any of it. It's just a matter of information and education and knowledge to help give your machine what it needs to make you happy. Because the only one unhappy or happy is you. So that's the next one. And then the last one, that's January 10th. Or if you register but can't attend the live, that's okay. We'll have a recording for you. And Surface Design is Valentine's, so because we love our embellishments. Then currently in the store, we have Boxing Day sale. That's until December 6th. Bernina Wish Book is valid until December 31st. Bernina holiday sale, they have 2 different ones running, is valid until December 31st now. This is really important for the Bernina folks out there in Canada. The US does quite often different things than we do, but the big book of feet. So if you're purchasing feet or love feet like I love feet, the big book of feet is a very valuable resource, and it walks you through the feet, what to do with them, what they were intended for originally, and all the bonus applications that you might find helpful for you and your machine. Those are 25% off in that holiday sale. Plus feet, hoops, and luggage. So for the Bernina people out there who wanted that next bigger hoop and were dying to get their hands on it at a reduced price, now's the time. December. Then we had a Giving Tuesday to match the International Giving Tuesday in December, and thank you to the people who came and participated. We made So Powerful purses that day, and the people that attended that day had such a blast. They wanted to know if we would make it official, and so we're going to do another Giving Tuesday, which is we're gonna hold them more than once in a year, because that's where my heart lies. If we can give back while we sew. And Charles, are you close by? Could you run me a purse before I sign off? So Powerful purses, you can make them at home. I have a QR code on the door where you can find the instructions and the patterns and those sorts of things. Did you move them? Oh, So Powerful Purse Projects is a fabulous way to use up things, to try things that, thank you.
I think this one was from Vivian, and it's a flap from Teresa.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Yeah, it's a this is a lovely thing for the embroiderers in the room who maybe don't want to make purses. There's a pattern there to do the flap in the hoop. So that's fabulous. So Powerful Purse is a great project, but you can make flaps and decorate them and then bring them for other people to make the bag. So like this one's so much fun. Look at, because inside there's little secrets. So we've got some fun fabrics, and you could make flaps. You could test out all of these techniques that we're going to be throwing at you that Wonderful talks about in their lectures. Or if you just would like to embroider and maybe not sew a bag, we had flaps brought for our sew day, and we really appreciated that. It inspires the girls who are maybe not working with an embroidery machine to take the flap, and it inspires a whole purse. So, and it's a great place to test something out in a nice space. I think, like, it's smaller than a piece of paper here. Let's see. Yep. It's about 10 by 8. So if you consider it's the size of a piece of paper that you could test something on, then cut into a purse flap, great use. If you feel that I make samples because, of course, I own a store and I'm a teacher. So these are valuable to me, but for some people, these would not be of value. This is not what you want to spend your day doing. But imagine if I took this and then now I cut a flap out of it. How pretty would that be? So for those of you who have to have a end goal in mind when they start a thing, that would be a good one. Then, oh yeah. So if you have never taken a entry-level quilting class, I'm teaching quilting first class beginning of February, starts on the 4th, goes on the 11th, 18th, and 25th. I will share with you everything I've ever learned about quilting so that you can quilt in a efficient, effective, less stressful way. Then also we referred to new owners classes previously. So we have Surgers coming up January 16th and 17th. So if you have a Surger bought from us, we have our new owners classes up online. The Bernina sewing machine version, it's January 21 and 22. Immediately followed by the embroidery version for those that have it, so that you don't have to haul those big babies in here back and forth, back and forth. We're going to do that back to back for you. Then Brother Sewing, same thing, January 29th and 30th, with January 31st being the basic embroidery day. So all of that's happening in the new year. Chelsea, did the weirdness get fixed on the class calendar? Yeah, we had some sort of update happen in our class calendar online. Has lost its noodle, and it has not been updated, which is truly sad. And in front of me, I also have Brother Boxing Day specials as well to December 31st, and that Brother Boxing Day special started yesterday, and we have I think we still have an EV1 left on special Boxing Day price if you want the best price in the area. I think I have one available still. And then for anyone who wanted $9.90, I have one of the super bonus packs shipping to me shortly. So the early launch $9.90 came with the Bernina swag box. They called it the magic box. Comes with luggage, comes with the biggest hoop, comes with a whole bunch of bonus extras, plus the Bernina New Owners Basics class, but also a week-long retreat with me. We had the opening group, we had a blast, and we'll repeat that for the second group of you. And then we also have a monthly club where we'll all get together and work through our 990s and keep focusing on what's unique about it, what's special about it. So don't delay. Let us know today, because you'll miss out on the lives. We're going to record them because not everyone can attend every live every time. So we will record them, and they'll be available for our 990 owners. And that's exclusive to us, our store, and our owners, so not available anywhere else but here. And if you need some references, I have some very happy students. That'll give me a 2 thumbs up, I betcha. All right, well, on the off chance I don't see you next week, you guys will be seeing Sandy for at least 1 or 2, and I know she has something special planned for Christmas. And we are here Monday and Tuesday next week, but Tuesday's a half day, Christmas Eve. Wednesday, of course, Christmas Day, we're closed. And in keeping with the season, I am gifting my glorious team members an extra day off, so we'll be closed as well on Boxing Day. And then the following week, New Year's, we close early New Year's Eve, and we're closed New Year's Day. So other than that, we're open our regular hours, which are Monday to Friday 10 to 6, and Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 11 to 4. I have a key, so I never think about the hours. And I'll be in and out filming more new stuff. In the new year, we have the mystery sample of the Kimberbell Digital Dealer exclusives hanging in the front of the store. If you'd like to see the size and scale of it, if you'd like to register, we're offering bonus pricing till the end of the year. So if you think you're interested in the Kimberbell Mystery Quilt, until December 31st, that's at a reduced price of $120 for the year. making your designs $10 a month. If you have a wait and see, or you don't think you want a whole quilt, but you might pop in and out and purchase things, they're $15 a month. If you register January 1st, the price has a jump to $150 for the 12 months. Still, it's we discount. If you go, you'll essentially have 2 months free. Or if it suits you and your budget and your credit card, because I know mine takes a beating at Christmas, it's still available on a monthly go-to. So yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. It was a fabulous Friday. Thanks to the ladies who said good morning. I appreciate knowing that somebody's out there and I'm not just talking to myself back here. Have a great weekend. The weather is going to be glorious. It's almost swimsuit weather here in Calgary. And I'm going to enjoy the weather, and we'll see you soon. Take care. All right, Chelsea, done.